जय नित्यानंद, जय द्वैत चंद्र, जय गौर भक्त वृंद। जय जय श्री चैतन्य, जय नित्यानंद, जय द्वैत चंद्र, जय गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. All right, so we uh, yesterday we read this part that how Narad Muni became Narad Muni, this the great sage Narad Muni. So in his previous life, Narad Muni was the son of a maid servant, and they lived in a village, very modest living. And he was the son of a maid servant, and in the Chaturmas, in those times, the saints, the sages, the Brahmins, they would all, the sannyasis, these they would actually constantly travel and preach in different villages. That is the work of a renunciant, sannyasi. So the what why are they preaching door to door? So that we get benefited. To deliver people like us. They are constantly preaching, they're traveling, they're taking so much pain. But when it is the month of Chaturmas, these sages, these Brahmins, these renunciants, they would stay at a place before the I mean, as soon as the Chaturmas starts. And the reason was that they would do Padayatra, they would always walk in those times. So in Chaturmas, it becomes very difficult to walk through the jungles, and that is why uh, probably they would just stay at one place wherever they are for all the 4 months, and then again after the Chaturmas, after the Kartik month, they would again start traveling. Now, what happened was that this village where Narad Muni, in his previous birth, when he was not Narad Muni, he was a normal boy, normal person like us, ordinary person like us. So his mother would serve in the village, and these saints, when they came, and it was Chaturmas, so Narad Muni's mother, she requested these sages to allow her to serve them. So she would cook for them, she would clean up for them, and take care of them if they needed something, any wood or anything. So she was taking care, she and her small son. So these saints, these sages were very pleased with them and with her. So because of that, they would, to show special mercy, they would call the little boy, they would make him sit, and they would speak Bhagavatam to him, and they would teach him, they would give classes to him. So, and this little boy would listen from these sages. And whatever they had, whatever prasad they would eat, their remnants became the food for this boy and the mother. Now, Chaturmas got over, the sages, they blessed the boy and they left. And in some time after this, the this little boy's mother passed away. She was bitten by a snake and she passed away. So this boy, because he got the association of these saints, so he became so strong spiritually that although he was a very little boy, his mother passed away, and there was no one other than the mother he had. But immediately, as soon as his mother left her body, he did whatever rites were required. He did that, and he started walking towards the forest in search of the Supreme Lord, because that is what he heard from the sages. Because he was so completely convinced that uh, getting favor of the Supreme Lord is utmost important thing in life. So he started walking towards the forest looking for the Supreme Lord, and he was a small boy, so he would ask, he would go under trees and he would be like, do you know who is Vishnu, do you know where Vishnu lives? Like, because he's a small boy, he doesn't know, but he's convinced. So seeing this, when he was sitting under a tree and meditating, he started meditating that how do I get Lord Vishnu. So got um, uh, he got a realization. He actually saw uh, Lord Vishnu in his heart, and he got so attracted that he became crazy. He's like, now I really want to see you face to face. So that is when he got this. It's a long story, I've just made it very brief. So that is when Lord Vishnu says that in this body, because this is a material body, you have material eyes. So in this body and with this eyes, you will not be able to see my form. as it is. And that is why, once I promise you that once you leave this body, once your this life is over, you will become my eternal associate. Then I will never leave you, and you will be able to see me whenever you want. I am promising that to you. So that little boy, for whatever time his lifetime was, he lived, and after that, when he left his body, the next life he got was of Narad Muni directly. So that is, so just imagine, just normal, ordinary persons like us. We at least have so many persons preaching us, and after that also it is so difficult. But this little boy, only he had his mother and 4 months of strong sadhu sangha, association of devotees, association of Vaishnavas are so strong. There are two verses which is very important in this regard. One is সাধু সঙ্গ সর্বশাস্ত্র কয় লবমাত্র সাধু সঙ্গ সর্বসিদ্ধি হয়, which means sadhu sang. Three times it is mentioned, sadhu sanga, sarva shastra kai, means all the scriptures are saying this, that sadhu sanga, sadhu sanga, sadhu sanga, how powerful it is. Once somebody gets this association of a sadhu, means of a Vaishnav. Sadhu doesn't mean just externally looking like a sadhu. That we have to be very careful who a sadhu is. To understand that also, we should understand the scriptures. So, or Srila Prabhupada clearly has mentioned in so many of his purports how to identify what sadhu means. So, not just external looking, somebody calling himself sadhu, or so they name themselves as this Babaji or this Guru. So we should be very, very careful that not to get carried away with such just the names and the look and the their pravachan. We should be very careful what their whether they belong to a bona fide parampara or not. And you know all those things are very important. There are certain parameters to identify a sadhu, to identify a Vaishnav or a devotee. So we'll come to that later. But sadhu sanga sarva shastra kahe labha matra, just one moment of sadhu sanga, sarva siddhi hoy, one can achieve all success. Every possible auspiciousness, every possible success can be achieved by just one moment of association with a sadhu. And that is exactly what this example of Narad Muni's previous lifetime shows us. And another thing is, भक्त पाद धूलि आर भक्त पाद जल भक्त भुक्त अवशिष्ट तीन महाबल. So Bhaktapada Dhuli means the dust of the lotus feet of a Vaishnav. These days, we are such foolish people, we don't even understand how to serve a Vaishnav. We don't even have that knowledge. Actually, when a Vaishnav comes, we should wash their lotus feet, and that water, one drop of that water, is so potent, it can purify us completely and make us also pure devotees. So now that doesn't mean that we also have to know that, okay, who is a Vaishnava again. But more important is, this is especially in the case of pure devotees like Srila Prabhupada, like our spiritual master. So we should never leave this opportunity. If somebody is able to get the dust of lotus feet of their spiritual master, or dust of the lotus feet of pure devotees. There are so many disciples of Srila Prabhupada, so many disciples of the disciples of Srila Prabhupada who are pure devotees. Whether they are grihastha or whether they are sannyasis, it does not matter. Even amongst grihasthas also, there are so many paramhamsa grihasthas who are constant, who have dedicated their entire life and soul for Srila Prabhupada, and they have surrendered to their spiritual master in this mission of Mahaprabhu. So, if we get this opportunity, we should make it a point to take the dust of their lotus feet. So, Bhakta Pada Dhuli. Dhuli means dust, and Pada means lotus feet. Bhakta means one who is a devotee of Krishna. Then second is Bhakta Pada Jal, means the water that has washed the lotus feet of a devotee. And Bhakta Bhukta Avashishta, the remnants when the pure devotee has taken prasad, and whatever remains in the plate, we should not think ye to jhutha hai. Jhutha means that is for us, like ordinary persons, what we eat and what is remaining, that is jhutha, that is contaminated. But when the pure devotees, when something is remaining in their plate, we should never think it to be contaminated. That is remnants of a pure devotee, and that has the potency. It is so potent that it can take us, it can completely purify us and give us the ultimate goal that we are looking for. When once we are pure, our intelligence will be purified. Then we will know what to do and what not to do. Right now, our intelligence is contaminated. That is why we get so deviated. I can't do this. I don't have time for that. That is because we are still, our intelligence is contaminated. But when it is purified, then we will have no such bewilderments. Our vision will be fully clear that okay, this is what I need to do. This is how I need to go ahead. So these three things very important, and this is what Narad Muni got in his previous life. He got the remnants of these sannyasis, and he became Narad Muni in his next life. So let us pray that we also get this opportunities. Vaishnavas are generally very compassionate toward the conditioned souls. Without even being invited, a devotee will go from door to door to enlighten people, to bring them out of the darkness of nescience by imparting knowledge of the living entity's constitutional position as a servant of Lord Krishna. We have forgotten that that is actually our constitutional position. We are busy serving Maya, but this a devotee, they are so compassionate, they will take so much pain just for the sake uh, of of other people's welfare. So they will go door to door to they will do book distribution sometimes. Whenever some people, when they see that oh, these ISKCON devotees are coming with books in their hands, they will run in the opposite direction, that oh, again these people are coming, again they will ask us to give money and take these books. So, but we don't understand that these people, why they are coming with these books, they are not taking that money for their own household work. They are actually trying to give you what you don't have, what we don't have, and that is Krishna consciousness. So, a devotee will go door to door to enlighten people and to bring them out of the darkness of nescience by imparting the knowledge of the living entity's constitutional position as a servant of Lord Krishna. Such devotees are empowered by the Lord to distribute devotional consciousness or Krishna consciousness to the people in general. If we see Srila Prabhupada, how he has spread this Krishna consciousness movement, if we see the life of our spiritual master, of my spiritual master, Srila Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, as a if the doctors, they are surprised how he is even functioning, because internally there is nothing, everything is topsy turvy. But despite that, he is not, his consciousness is not disturbed to even one pinch. And he's giving Krishna consciousness to the whole world. He's traveling with so much difficulties. So, and all the Guru work, all the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, if we see their life, their activities, we will realize that um, they are the empowered devotees. What whatever vision Srila Prabhupada had and whatever instruction was given to Srila Prabhupada, the way these things are manifesting is not some ordinary. This is nothing less than a miracle. Everything that is happening. So, by their life and activities, we understand that they are all empowered devotees. They are not some ordinary persons, ordinary souls like ourselves. They are known as authorized spiritual masters, and it is by the mercy of such a spiritual master that a conditioned soul gets the seed of devotional service. The causeless mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is first appreciated when one comes in touch with a bona fide spiritual master. Now, this is again very, very important point, that one takes shelter of a bona fide spiritual master and not get carried away by just some namesake um, guru and so-called guru, just by putting, just by keeping a name as Sadguru, or this is not individually speaking about anyone. This is in general, that just if somebody has a name or has Guru in their name doesn't mean they are Guru. Whether they are bona fide or not, this is very important for us to understand. And what is bona fide? What does bona fide mean? This is very important point that one should keep in mind when they are looking for a spiritual master. So these the causeless mercy that of the Supreme Lord is actually given upon us by a bona fide spiritual master only. Nobody else can give it. It's like, if there is a havan, a fire sacrifice going on, a havan going on, nobody will be able to put the ghee with their own hand. If there is anybody, I don't know, who can put their hand in the fire and put the ghee, then it is different. But obviously, nobody can do it. So they use a long wooden spoon, or a long this brass spoon or something. So what they do is, that long spoon, it goes, you are holding in the other end, and you are putting the ghee in the fire. Similarly, our our spiritual master is like that, who is helping us to reach to Krishna. Krishna is like fire. We cannot put our hand in fire. We can never reach Krishna. Not possible. What, no matter what we try to do. But when a bona fide spiritual master accepts us, and when we take complete shelter of the bona fide spiritual master, when we completely surrender ourselves, then we will be able to put that key. That means then we will be able to easily go there to the fire, to Krishna. So, and what is important here? Bona fide spiritual master, not just namesake anyone. Because only they can enlighten the conditioned soul and bring him to the highest position of devotional life. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya said that by the mercy of the spiritual master, one can achieve the causeless mercy of the Lord. And by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can attain the mercy of the bona fide spiritual master. So, if we don't have a bona fide spiritual master, if we still have not understood whom to surrender to, or who will be my spiritual master, we should pray to Krishna. Because by the mercy of Krishna, we will, by the mercy of Krishna, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we will be able to get connected with our bona fide spiritual master. And by the mercy of our spiritual master, we will be able to get the mercy of the Supreme Lord. So, what happens next? We'll, Krishna willing, read tomorrow. Thank you very much, dear devotees, for your association. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंतकोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय। श्रील जयप्रताप स्वामी गुरु महाराज की जय। श्रील भक्ति
जय
वेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। निताई
जय
गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि
हरि
बोल।
हरि बोल।